Hi, my name's Terry. We're here at Fountain of Youth. My client Kathy is going to get some cheek fillers. We're going to be using Allergan brand Voluma, which is designated for mid-face volumization. Kathy has some moderate loss of cheek volume. Subsequently, she's got a little bit of some depression here that has moved along the nasolabial folds with this midline. So not only will the Voluma help with that approach to her face, it'll soften the look of her eye, it'll also soften the look around the nasolabial fold, and in some cases it will lift a little bit and give some relief to this jowling area here. So she has been numbed, she's prepped, so we're going to clean her up and then we'll get started. You feeling doing okay? Yes. And we just use small little aliquots here. A little goes a long way with Voluma. We're relying on the properties of the product itself to do some volumization in addition to the actual volume in the syringe. And in some cases you'll see me pull back the plunger. I'm just validating that I'm in the proper space, not near any vascularity. A little pinch right here. One of the techniques that we do is called vectoring. I sort of vector with her a little bit in the beginning, and then I kind of veer off a little bit from that vector just so I can get product where it needs to be versus kind of where the textbook tells you it should go. You can't always follow textbook placement because the volume loss is a little different for everybody.
Yes.
So you can see before, I don't know if I didn't draw anyone's attention to it, but she's a side sleeper, so she has a little bit of a delineation here that's greater on her right side than her left. And as I fill, you'll notice that that's going to start to go away, and it's going to even itself out. So she's going to look a little more symmetrical on both sides. Here as well. And then I just constantly kind of mold it how I want it to go. It's a really soft product. It's going in a potential space. This is a deep tissue filler, which means it's going to go under the cheek tissue itself and sit right on top of bone. It's a potential space, so it takes on the characteristics of her cheek, unless I completely overfilled her cheek, it's going to take on the shape of the cheek that she was always intended to have, or even always had when she was younger. I can't really change the shape of that cheek unless I overfill it, and that's not something that is a desired effect here, especially at this facility, but really anywhere. You want to kind of keep the structure of their face intact. You don't want to change the symmetry that she started with. And you can see it's starting to really plump out here. Maybe a little more of a cheek, a little more extensive. You doing all right?
Yep.
Sometimes the left side can be a little more tender than the right because when you drive, all that exposure to the sun. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little more uncomfortable, but not bad. Pinch right here. Done with the second syringe on this side. And one of the interesting things here is that while she had a deeper nasolabial fold here from sleeping, she's got a lot more volume loss on this side, on the left side, than the right. And that's not uncommon. So we just have to compensate for that. So she'll get a little more product put in her left cheek than in her right. she does have a little bit of subsequent swelling from the injections here that's already started, that hasn't started here, so there's a little bit of differentiation from how it looks. But that's more due to the swelling than product. And then leaving out. After all was said and done, we ended up putting 4 syringes of voluma in her. I added a little bit extra on the left side to accommodate for the loss, and then I came back through with 1 syringe of velour and popped out the nasolabial fold a little more over here and added a little more volume to kind of counterbalance what was going on there. So she had a total of 5 syringes put in, 4 voluma and 1 velour. And with minimal damage, she's got a little tiny bruise here and some little spots, but overall you can see it not real terrible. She seemed to tolerate it okay.
It was very comfortable.
Yeah, you know, it's a process, and over the next probably couple weeks, it's going to, I call it settling in and settling down. It's going to kind of find its place. It's going to start to pull the fluid in. It's not super dramatic, but it's enough that it's going to give you the round. And before, where you had flattened OG curve, that roundness to the cheek, every angle that we look at is round again. So it's just going to kind of soften things up. And it'll even soften the juncture from your eye to your cheek. It'll kind of soften that a little bit for you. So, you know, it's a big bang for not a lot of money, and it took us 45 minutes to do. So,